All right, so today we're going to talk about retainer agreements. These can be important tools for creative agencies to move away from the revenue swings of typical project-based billing and move into more predictable and stable income structures. So, what is a retainer agreement? Typically, it's a longer term contract, maybe 6 to 12 months, where the client pays a fixed fee each month in exchange for maybe a chunk of hours or a defined menu of services. Because these are longer term arrangements, they provide stable, predictable revenue for the agency, and they're good for the client, and they allow for budgeting and planning for long term needs. So there's lots of details to work out with any retainer agreement, but we think there are four key details to think about when building a retainer SOW. First is make sure you are very clear about what is included in scope and what's excluded in scope. And this applies even with a bulk purchase of hours. There may be types of work that you would normally charge a special rate for or don't want to do unless you can price specially, or maybe it's things that you would have to subcontract for. Those are all things that you wouldn't necessarily want to include automatically in your scope for a retainer. So make clear those are excluded so you have an opportunity to price those things separately. All right, next, in an hourly SOW, be very clear on how underutilization is handled. We generally recommend a use it or lose it approach. So if the client hasn't used all the hours by the end of a month, those hours are gone. Or maybe you apply it on an annual basis. If they don't use all the hours at the end of the year, those hours are gone. Be very careful in how you deal with carryover so a client can't stockpile hours all throughout the year and then dump them on you at the end of the year expecting a year's worth of work in November and December. If you are going to allow carryover, put a cap on it, a very specific number of hours that can be carried forward from one month to the next month, and don't let those carryovers stack. Next, be sure your retainer SOW has a kill fee provision in your fees. A kill fee, remember, is a provision that says if the client bails early without cause, that in addition to paying you for all the work done through the termination date, that they have to pay an additional fee for killing the contract early for their convenience. We recommend something like 2 to 3 months of the retainer fee, or maybe a percentage like 25% of the killed portion of the contract to be a good kill fee for this situation. Remember, even if you tell the client that they can't bail early, if they choose to, they're going to, and they'll just stop paying. So use this opportunity to tie a financial consequence to a possibility that may come up. Last tip is bill in advance, like rent. On the first of each month for the term of the retainer, collect that fixed fee. Better yet, when you kick off, collect first and last month's fees at the beginning and apply that last month to the last months of services. Okay, so that's four key issues for retainers. Clarify your excluded services. Be clear on underutilization. We recommend use it or lose it. Add a kill fee that's triggered if a client bails in the middle of the term. And last, bill in advance, like rent, and ideally collect first and last before you kick off. Want more about retainers and other stuff related to agency services agreement? Hit our website or our online service agreement field manual for more information.